week on Sportlink, we had an exclusive interview with a former national football player turned banker. That's coming up on Sumo Legend.
We'll also update you on all the action from the GFF Football League and the ongoing Interbank Football Tournament.
And we'll also update you with the upcoming sporting event and activities in the Gambia.
Well, stay tuned as our panelists on Viewpoint talk about the topical sporting highlights.
Yes, my name is Ashaolu Olalike Alige. Keep watching Sportlink.
This week on Sumo Legend, we had an exclusive interview with a former football star turned banker. Despite the fact that he swapped his boots for the shoot and tie, his passion for football remains stronger than ever. Momodou Musa is a renowned banker. Though at the helm of FIB, he remains a perennial player in the Gambian football arena.
Mr. Musa, thank you for granting Sportlink this exclusive interview with you. A lot of people know you as a former national team player of the Gambia senior national football team, and now as the MD of FIB. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Momodou Musa?
Momodou Musa is a Gambian. We want to talk about football. Let us go to the football. Yes, I am the current MD of First International Bank, FI Bank. My playing career started at the age of 12, let's probably say. Then I played through primary school, high school, premiership or the first division, then into the national team.
Okay.
Then I had a break and went for further studies.
Could you tell us a little bit about what motivated you to play soccer? You said you started playing as early as 12.
Well, that was the only, the activity that we had as kids then. We had no TVs at the time, so we were always out playing football. And that's how it all started. The passion grew. And of course, with practice, I improved a lot. I was skillful, so I got recruited into teams, primary school, secondary school, and then into the National League.
Interesting. You're one of the few lucky people who ever get the opportunity to play for the national team. Could you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
Whether I'm a lucky few, a lot of people have gone through the national team. It just varies, the timing varies. I think I started playing in the national team as early as 1974. Immediately I finished high school. And we just played our quota, as anybody else that came after me also played their bit. So I think it's a matter of passion. At the time, when we played football in the 70s, it wasn't money bias. It was basically a passion. You wanted to play the game, you played the game, and you gave all that you needed to give in the game.
You just mentioned that at the time when you played football, it wasn't about the money. So you must have faced challenges as you played. Do you have any regrets? Were there highs and lows that you...
Of course, you always have highs and lows in playing football, because then the motivation was passion. It was your pride. So your highs were when you win matches, your lows were when you lost matches.
Right. You also mentioned that at some point in your career you took a break to study. Did you have a passion other than football at this stage? What informed your decision to take this break?
I also liked reading. I had the passion initially to go and study soil science, but because immediately I finished high school, I had an opportunity to work in a bank. That passion changed. So my focus I never fulfilled the dream to be a soil scientist, but I ended up being a financial accountant, a chartered accountant for that matter. So working in the bank actually changed my focus in what I wanted to do in life.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience in banking and the journey from then till now?
Yes, I think it's an interesting journey. I started as a cashier. In those days, we call it, you have a cashier, then you have what you call a ledger keeper. Then we didn't have computers per se, as it is known today. Then we had these machines, NCR machines, you call 299, where you post ledgers. And that is where I started, and then I, based on my desire to uplift myself and my desire to be educated, I worked for 5 years initially, and then went to the United States to do my degree, and I did my degree in accounting. So I came back and joined the bank again. And that is how I started as a, I went through the ranks all the way to the position I am in today.
Interesting journey. So you have played at the highest level of Gambian football, you played for the national team, and here you are at the highest level of banking in the Gambia. So would you tell us which you find more challenging and also more rewarding?
Challenging, banks nowadays are more challenging than football at the time because you're always on your toes. You have to, particularly at this level, you have to think more strategically and you have to be on your toes all the time. It's not a business as usual, sitting and just directing. You have to be personally involved in the processes as well, so that people lead by example in the process. And the thinking cap that you wear as a player and the thinking cap you wear as a banker are two different caps.
Okay, but how about the rewards? Do you find banking more rewarding? Or did you
nowadays, you probably would think, if you're looking at the rewards in terms of pecuniary benefits, you probably would think football could probably give you more rewards. But in terms of sitting back and thinking, hey, I have a day after the game, meaning after playing football, I have a profession to go to. The lifespan in football is usually very short, and that is probably why they are probably paid at that premium. But you cannot play up to 55 or 60. But if you're doing work, you can work up to 60. So if you finish your playing career at 30 or 35 or so, and then you're well educated, you have a chance of having a steady income from 35 to 60. So that is the difference in terms of, that's why I said for me, the profession is more rewarding than playing football.
Okay. So, Mr. Musa, the ongoing Interbank football tournament, did you play or did you coach?
When I was a bit younger, then at Trust Bank, I played. Okay. But since assuming the responsibility, or at least advanced in age, I decided not to play, but I encourage them to, I visit them when they play, I talk to them before they play. At least FIB had once won the governor's trophy. But this year we have not been lucky.
I'm sure they would have still been in the tournament if you had played for them.
That would be difficult.
Right.
And at my age, it might. I'm not as active in sports anymore in terms of activity, in terms of playing it. But I am still passionate about watching it.
Yes. With your passion and of course your experience and knowledge, what is your plan for your continued involvement in football? Do you still have any plans to be involved in Gambian football in any way?
I am involved in Gambian football. And I would always be involved in Gambian football. What the role would be different. It may not be in the role of in an executive committee or something like that, but I would probably be a shadow helping whoever is in football, giving my tips, giving my advices and participating.
Okay. Mr. Musa, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you very much for granting Sports League this exclusive interview. Goodbye, sir.
Thank you very much. Honestly, I don't know Pele much. I haven't seen him play, but therefore the only option I have is Maradona or Messi. I have stopped supporting since Brazil lost glory. So Brazil was my team initially. Premiership. Discipline and passion, wanting to win. I'll go for my Arsene Wenger, hence I support his team. I've ever watched. That was last week, Arsenal beating was it Manchester? Chelsea. Not Chelsea. Manchester. Biri Biri.
Thank you for joining us on Suma Legend Show. We were having one-on-one interview with Momodou Musa, and please stay tuned for the Gambian Sport News. Thank you.
Welcome to this week's edition of the GFF League Roundup, and we begin in Banjul, where the champions Real Banjul failed to extend their lead at the top of the standings by playing out a goalless draw with third place Brikama United on Saturday. Elsewhere, Serekunda United continued their second round revival by winning 1-0 against the Gambia Armed Forces. Gamtel, meanwhile, failed to capitalize on Real's draw by drawing themselves 1-1 with Bakau United on Sunday at the Serekunda East. Banjul United, meanwhile, were defeated 1-0 by Interior. Walidan vs Sports was postponed, as did Hawks vs Bombarda. And that's all for this week's roundup of the GFF League. But stay tuned as we bring you a more insightful look into the GFF League.
So the Interbank tournament continues.
Yeah, we are in the quarterfinals where Access Bank played against Skybank.
Yeah, and they drew?
They drew 1-1 and they went for a post-match penalty shootout. Skybank won by 4-2.
Oh, that's quite interesting. How about CBG? I think
the Central Bank of the Gambia played against the
GT Bank?
Guaranteed Trust Bank. They didn't show them that they are the regulators, but they won them in the field of play by 1-0.
Ah, that's quite interesting. How about Basic Bank? I think they played against
Basic played against the Agib, and the Agib won them Agib were defeated by Basics by 1-0.
Okay, so Basic won Agib.
Yes.
1-0, right?
Basic won
that's
Agib
quite
by
interesting. How about
the Standard Chartered Bank? They're here for good. They're going by their slogan as here for good. They won Zenith Bank by 2-1.
Wow, so it's like all the first ones are winning. So about the fixtures for the
semi-finals? Yes, Skybank would be playing the Standard Chartered Bank, while Basic would play the Central Bank of the Gambia.
Wow, it's gonna be tactic.
Yeah, the regulators would show the Basic Bank that they are the regulators, while Standard Chartered Bank fight it out with the Skybank.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Thank you very much.
My name is Paul, this is SportsLink. Keep watching hottest new show in Africa, no doubt.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of The Viewpoint. As always, I am David and I'm joined on set by Modou, Lamin, Uthman and Sirah, and today we'll be discussing the topical sporting highlights as we always do. To pick up from where we left off last week, guys, Gambia's chances of qualifying for the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations. The Gambia has been grouped with Cameroon, South Africa and Mauritania. So, what do you guys think? Uthman, what are the chances of Gambia's qualification?
Like I said the last time, our chances are enormous. We can win, we can qualify in this group as not best runner-up, but as winner in the group. All what we need to do is to stay focused, win all our home games, look for an away win, 1 or 2 away wins, then we are good to go.
Okay, Uthman is pretty optimistic, and I like your strategy. It seems like one Jose Mourinho uses it quite a bit in the Premier League, parking the bus on their away games.
No, that's not what we would be doing. We will be winning our home games, go out there, when in the return leg, if we can have a first half win, if it is possible to win in the first half, have a goal also in the first half. If we can't have it, then we stick to what we have. Make sure that we don't concede goals in the first half. Okay. In the second half, that's the best approach that we can.
Modou, I mean, this sounds like a pretty simple strategy. What do you think? Do you think Gambia has a chance if they use Uthman's strategy?
Like I said the last time, we have absolutely no chance. Zero chance.
No chance.
This is this 2019 World Cup, we should actually use it. For a
the African Cup of Nations, you mean?
Exactly, for the 2019 African Nation. We should use it for a rebuilding process for the next one after Gabon. Because right now we have no coach, no players. Right now, if I even ask Uthman to name me 30 man, 30 players that he thinks would be suitable for the job.
Molamin, don't forget that we have host of Gambian players that are playing. They are trained
in Europe.
Are they playing regularly?
Of course,
are
yes.
Are they the ones that we need for the job?
Of course, they are the very ones that you would use. Blend them with the local players, few local players that you think can match. You understand? To have a very good team.
We have less than a month into the qualifiers. The qualifiers.
Okay, Sirah, can you come in here? What's your take on this?
What I would say, I would look at it from both aspects, yeah? The fact that we don't have a coach, because we understand that for one to go, there must be somebody to kind of nurture that talent or try to, for the training, of course, they've been doing it. The coach is what we lack. Yeah, but then we have...
All right, we need to move on right now. We'll be talking more about Gambia's chances of qualifying as the tournament and the qualifying rounds progress. This week in the Premier League, there was an exciting clash, a big match between Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea won that game, but Manchester United had close to 70% of possession for most of the game. So the big question is, what's going on with Jose Mourinho and this park the bus tactic?
It's like you rightly mentioned, Mourinho will always park the bus, and if he's lucky at times, he would go away with the 3 points. This is what exactly happened on Saturday.
On Saturday.
When you said it right, Manchester United had 70% of the possession. Can you imagine playing a home game against Manchester United?
Sorry, Uthman. Football is not about possession. What matters is the 3 points. And I think Chelsea went for the 3 points, and that was the 1-0 victory.
Yeah, but the
game
approach also matters here, because Mourinho, as we know, his team is leading the Premiership. You understand? So if Mourinho, with all the quality of players that he has, he comes and pack the bus, that was not carry well of Mourinho.
Okay, Sirah, what do you think about this?
I will of course recommend Mourinho, because he is showing to the world his capabilities. He was at Real Madrid. He's done it. He firstly served Chelsea before he left. Now he's back telling people that
packing the bus?
No, I'm just
no, it's not packing the bus. It's winning at all costs.
Yes, winning at all costs. Now you look at Chelsea. Chelsea is
winning at all costs. I have no problem with winning at all costs. But in football, the beauty of the game is the flow of the game.
The flow of the game.
You understand? If the game
can't... What keeps you going at the point?
Okay, guys. This looks like we don't have a winner for this debate. We'll continue that some other time.
I know. The final analysis, all of them would subscribe to what I said, that Mourinho packed the bus, but...
Well, they're still going on at this, but it's been an interesting debate. But that's all the time we have on The Viewpoint this week. I'm sure you've enjoyed the discussions, and if you would like to contribute to the debates, please join us on our social media platforms. From me and the rest of the team, see you then.
This is where we stop for this week, and thank you for having us on Sportlink. See you next week.